As the Detroit Lions get set for their Monday night showdown against the Seattle Seahawks, I can personally guarantee you this, that when the Seahawks come to Ford Field, a world of hurt's going to be waiting for them. Stay tuned, everybody. We're going to talk about it.
What are we? What makes us what we are and what we're going to be? It's grit. It's what we started with last year, guys. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and three toes. I will beat your ass.
Can definitely compete with the big dogs.
10-5 end zone touchdown Detroit Lions.
You guys are unbelievable, man. I'm telling you.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, Detroit Lions fans, and welcome on back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike. And as always, we're diving on in. My friends, I'm going to tell you this right now. This is an episode that I'm really excited to talk about because there are two things. The first thing I'm going to say and get it out of the way is because of what I'm wearing. And what I'm wearing is something that's brand new, and it's this mock neck right here. Now, for those that are curious, this is a purple mock neck, and it's got a gold lion emblem on it. I'm going to tell you this right now. When I saw it, I couldn't help myself. I had to get my hands on it because when in the hell are you ever going to have another chance to buy a purple Detroit Lions mock neck? So that's one reason I'm excited, because I get a chance to show that off. But the real reason, more so that I'm excited, is because of the information that's in this episode. And the reason why, well, let's understand something here. Ever since Dan Campbell has been the head coach of the Detroit Lions, we've played Seattle 3 times, we've lost to Seattle 3 times. Now, the first time we played them, that was when we were at Seattle. That was the last year Russell Wilson was the quarterback. Nobody had any, misconceptions or ideas that we were going to go into that game and we were going to win that game. Number one, that was back when Seattle was a playoff team. Number 2, Russell Wilson was actually still good back then. And number 3, Tim Boyle was playing quarterback. No chance in hell we were winning that game. Just let's be honest. But the last 2 games that we've played, Geno Smith has been the quarterback. That's not a knock against him. I'm just simply saying it's something different. But at the same time, Jared Goff has been the quarterback, and our offense has lit it up. The only problem has been is that we've lost by very little margins, and most of that has been attributed to very poor defensive performances. Now, that's where we're going to springboard this conversation into the actual topic of the video. I'm going to say this right now. 2 things that I think that the defense has not done very well over the last 2 outings against the Seahawks that really could make a difference in us winning, and definitely will make a difference in us winning this game, is 1, pass defense as far as pass coverage, and number 2, pass rush as in the ability to pressure and sack the quarterback. Let's understand something. The last 2 times that we have played Seattle, we've only literally sacked Geno Smith once. Pardon me. We've sacked him 1 time in 2 games. That's horrible. That's absolutely just ridiculously bad. So, I'm telling you this. The Lions this game are going to have opportunities to get after and sack Geno Smith. And I'm not saying that just because of how well our pass rush has been doing this year. Oh no, that's just part of the equation. Let's actually start diving into the information here. Number 1, the Seattle Seahawks offensive line is one of the worst rated in the NFL for pass blocking. First, not only from PFF, but also from ESPN Analytics. If you go to PFF, the Seattle Seahawks offensive line grade for pass blocking is ranked 29th. It's almost dead last. It's ranked 53.2 in terms of pass grade, as far as blocking is concerned. Then, when you jump over to ESPN Analytics, according to them, their pass block win rate is only at 38%, which is second worst in the NFL. So both PFF and ESPN Analytics are agreeing that the Seattle Seahawks' ability to pass block is just horrible. It's terrible. And then if you go even further into the statistics, further into the analytics, PFF also confirms that Geno Smith has had less than 2.5 seconds to throw on 57.1% of his dropbacks. You are literally talking about an offensive line that cannot pass block worth a damn. So, That's the first piece of information here. Offensive line of Seahawks is terrible at pass blocking. No two ways around that one. Second, let's think about this, folks. I already know that some people are going to be like, well, David, the offensive line, as you said, is terrible. But Geno Smith has only been sacked 8 times. That's not too terribly bad. Okay, understand something here. There are ways that you can use that number to make it look like maybe the offensive line is not as bad as it is. But let's understand why that Geno Smith has only been sacked 8 times. First and foremost, you have to understand that the Seattle Seahawks have literally been employing short passing routes almost the majority of the time that they've been on offense. If you go and you actually check next-gen stats, Geno Smith is one of the, how do I put this? On average, he is only throwing the ball in terms of air distance 6.9 yards. What that tells me is that the Seattle Seahawks know their offensive line is terrible at pass blocking, so what they're employing is a very short route tree concept to make sure Geno Smith is not getting killed back there. That's number one. But the second thing I also know about this is that Geno Smith is still a very good quarterback in being able to evade pressure. He still has the ability to scramble when needed. So you've got a quarterback that understands his offensive line is not very good, so he uses his ability to move as a way to extend plays and not get sacked and put his offense in a bad situation. But also the offensive coordinator is calling a lot of short route tree concepts to make sure that Geno Smith is not holding onto the ball too long because the offensive line is not giving him a whole hell of a lot of time to work with. Again, 57.1% of his dropbacks, he's getting less than 2.5 seconds to throw. Okay. So what we're finding out here about the Seattle Seahawks passing offense is it's terrible at pass blocking. They are literally not using a whole lot of deep shot concepts. And number 3, oh, that's right, Geno Smith is still a very evasive quarterback in terms of extending plays. So why am I saying then that the Lions are going to bring the hurt to the freaking Seattle Seahawks? Well, let's understand this. One, when the offensive line is as bad as I've told it, think about this. Aiden Hutchinson is the best pass rusher in the NFL right now in terms of win percentage out of all edge rushers. If you go to PFF, right now he is winning his pass rush sets at an unprecedented 37.9% of the time. You want to know who the next closest is? It's Myles Garrett at 29.9%. That is a literal freaking 8% difference, folks. That's massive. That right there tells me that when Aiden Hutchinson is, on the defensive line, ain't nobody going to stop him virtually. It's hard as hell to stop him. And it's not just Aiden Hutchinson. Even though Aiden Hutchinson is our best and one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, there's other guys on our line are really good at pass rushing. Take a look at our interior defensive linemen. Aleem McNeil is ranked 22nd out of all interior defensive linemen in pass rush win rate with a 13.2%. Next, Levi Onwuzurike is ranked 28th out of all interior defensive linemen with 11.8% pass rush win rate. And then the new guy, Wingo, he's ranked 40th out of all interior defensive linemen with a 10% pass rush win rate. So okay here. You've got 3 interior defensive linemen that are top 40 in their position in terms of being able to win in pass rush situations. And then you got Aiden Hutchinson, who is the best edge rusher in that category as well. And, oh, by the way, he still leads the NFL in total sacks. Okay, now you're starting to understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. Geno Smith is going to be in for a royally screwed up night because he is not going to get virtually any time to throw. But this is only part of the information. Again, I said that Geno's only been sacked 8 times, and I explained why that's the case. But would you also know this? Not only is the offensive line absolutely terrible at giving Geno Smith time to, actually throw, but Geno Smith is ranked top 10 in the NFL for being under pressure on the majority of his dropbacks. He's under pressure on 38.1% of his dropbacks so far. Okay, so Geno Smith is constantly under pressure. Offensive line can't protect worth a damn. Offense is having to throw a lot of short air concepts because Geno Smith is only averaging 6.9 air yards per throw. And our defensive line has 3 top 40 interior defensive linemen in pass rush win rate. And Aiden Hutchinson is the best edge rusher in the NFL by damn near 10% in that category. Okay, that is very, very encouraging information. But I then decided to go even further. I said, you know what? Geno Smith has been sacked 8 times. Well, we've played, the Seattle Seahawks have played 3 teams, Broncos, Patriots, Dolphins. I wanted to then take a look and see how each of those teams did in terms of how many sacks they got against the Seattle Seahawks, but then also how well they did in terms of their pass rush grade on PFF, how well they did in terms of their pressure percentage, and how well they did in terms of their, total amount of sacks that they've done on the year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all that data up, and then I'm going to show you a comparison on the same slide of how the Lions have done. Take a look at this. When you take a look, you're going to see that pretty much most of these teams have got a lot of things that are going for them. Virtually every single team is very good in pass rush. They're all top 15. Okay, that's good. However, though, in terms of pressure percentage, only one of them is good, and that's the Broncos. The rest of them are below average. But when you take a look at sacks, the only one that's not really good is the Dolphins. The rest of them, again, top 15. But when you take a look at the Lions in this sense, the Lions are 3rd in pass rush grade, they're 8th in pressure percentage, and they're tied 14th in sacks. Across the board, the Lions are one of the best pass rushing groups in the NFL. They're one of the best in not only getting after the quarterback, but sacking the quarterback. Okay, that right there already makes me beg the question, The Dolphins and the Patriots got 3 sacks in their games against the Seattle Seahawks. There are certain things about both of those defenses that are not very promising, like the fact that both of them are not very good at applying pressure. But yet, they have decent pass rush grades. So the Lions, who have a top 10 pass rush unit in terms of pressure percentage, but also have the 3rd pass rush grade from PFF, I have to ask myself, how many sacks are the Lions going to get? Just think about that one. But then I said, you know what? A good pass rush has to also have a good pass coverage unit, or vice versa, because they both complement each other very well. So then I said, well, let's do the same thing as I just did for pass rush for pass coverage. So again, much like I just did for that, slide, I'm going to do it now for this one. Taking a look at the Broncos, Patriots, Dolphins, and compare it to the Lions in terms of their coverage grade from PFF, how many pass yards they've given up, their pass completion percentage they've given up, and their passer rating. So take a look at the information. When you take a look, first and foremost, the Lions' coverage grade is not that good. Right now, it's ranked 21, but it's gotten better every single week. And that's not even the worst one out of the group. The Dolphins are absolutely terrible. They're almost dead last. But when you take a look at passing yards, the Lions are right there in the middle out of the whole group. Okay, so there's something to work there. Then when you take a look at passing percentage, the Lions are the best out of the whole bunch. They're ranked 16th. Nobody even comes close to them in that category, at least out of the other 3 teams. And then when you take a look at passer rating, the Lions are also ranked first. They're actually top 10 in the NFL in that category at an 83.3 passer rating. And then here's 2 stats that I didn't include on this, the slide that I just had up there. The Lions are also tied 8th in the NFL for most interceptions, because they have 3, and all 3 of those are courtesy. All 3 of them are courtesy of our safeties, with 2 from Kirby Joseph and 1 from Brian Branch. And then on top of that, the Lions are ranked 10th in the NFL in terms of interception percentage, which means the percentage of attempts thrown by quarterbacks that are getting intercepted. And that's ranked 10th at 2.9%. So what I'm trying to get at here is this. 1, the offensive line of the Seahawks cannot protect Geno Smith to save their life. Geno Smith is having to constantly throw the ball short, which means there is a very limited route tree that they have. Number 3, Geno Smith himself is constantly under pressure. The Lions have one of the best pressure units in the entirety of the NFL, and on top of that, they have great pass rushers across the entirety of the defensive line. And then on top of that, the Lions have a decent pass coverage group right now that's getting better with every single game. So when you compile all this information together, plus the fact that it's going to be at home, Monday Night Football, I can personally guarantee you the Lions faithful are going to be loud as all hell. You have got a literal mixing pot, if you will, for a recipe of disaster for this Seattle team. It's going to be loud, so they're not going to be able to hear themselves most of the time. They're going to be under pressure because their offensive line can't protect worth a damn. And if they try to run the ball, we still have one of the best rush defenses in the NFL. So it's like, okay, here. This defense is not going to be pushed over like it's had done in the past. I can tell you that right now. But my whole point is this. The Lions, like my title says, I would not be surprised by the end of this game that the Seattle Seahawks are leaving the stadium black and blue, much like our uniforms. Anyway, having settled that, I'm going to end this episode and say thank you all for watching in another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, I highly encourage y'all to watch the next episode. Also encourage y'all to do one of these three things. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If by chance you subscribed in the past and you forgot to do so at the time, or you just subscribed and you not had a chance to do so, again, want to highly encourage y'all to subscribe, but also please make sure you hit that bell notification icon as well, so that way you guys never miss any more content that I push out. Also want to encourage y'all, please, to make sure you do this. Make sure you share the content anywhere and everywhere you can with everybody and anybody that you can, especially your Lions friends and family members. Again, the more we can share it, the greater the channel can grow and the greater the channel can spread, bringing in new content viewers. And with that being said, whether you've been a long-time viewer or this is your first time watching, I hope y'all enjoyed the content. And also, I hope everybody out there has got something in their life that makes them happy, makes them smile. And with that being said to everybody, I just want to, again, wish you all the best in life. I hope you all enjoyed the content. And until the next time we meet, I just want to say, God bless and go Lions.